Right, you lot, let's talk the Aston Villa chopping board. It's the second and last special episode. We are, of course, talking about Clement Lenglet. You've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. We've already done a video on Nicolo Zaniolo. I'll chuck a link to that somewhere on the screen upcoming for you. So go back, check that out, see what I thought about Zaniolo. But let's get in to Clement Lenglet. Should Villa sign him? Yes, no. We'll look at his stats, his contract, how much he might cost us, and where he'll fit into the team. So as you can see on the screen, we have Mr. Lenglet's stats up this season. He's 28 years of age. His current market value sits at around 15 million. I believe Barcelona have a release clause of about 40 million euros. Obviously, they're not going to get that for him anymore. He's out of favour at Barcelona, and the turmoil they are in mean that, well, we'll get on to how much he might cost a little bit later on, but you'll see it's a lot less than 40 million. In terms of this season, this is traits compared to other centre-backs. He's honestly, his best trait is just the amount of touches he has, and that should tell you everything you need to know really about Lenglet. He's done a job for us this season at points when we've needed him to. 13 games in the Premier League, all 13 of those coming on the starting 11, playing about 1,000 minutes, getting 1 assist, and an average rating of an underwhelming 6.58 with 2 yellow cards. In terms of his career, came from Sevilla, so a player that Monchi will probably know very well. But then obviously at Barcelona, had his loan at Spurs and then at us as well. But you look at him recently, he really hasn't settled very much recently, and I think there's just so many options possibly better than him in the squad already. You know, you saw Olympiacos 5.6, Man City 5.4, even in the 4-0 win against Ajax, obviously only getting 16 minutes, but only a 6.1 in terms of that game as well. And yeah, just not really good enough from him at the moment. His last game in the Premier League being that 4-1 defeat. 24 games for Villa so far in all competitions. And we look at his stats this season again. He's only played 1,000 minutes, and we're not going to look too much into the attacking stats, but you look at his passing, he has got an assist. Puts him about 70th percentile for defenders this season. Only completed 756 passes though, putting him in the bottom 50%. His pass accuracy, fair enough, it's good, 90%. He's clearly a ball-playing centre-back, which is what Emery likes, which I think is why we got him in on loan this season, just to cover Pau Torres, who actually did end up getting injured quite a bit, so fair enough. Long ball accuracy, 53%. So again, you know, good in the passing stats, but then again, possession, you know, they're all orange, aren't they? It's not a fantastic look for him. In terms of tackles won, his percentage actually is in the top 85th percentile, winning about 69% of his tackles this season. But again, tackles won in 13 games, only 9, puts him in the bottom 25 percentile, bottom quarter of centre-backs in the Premier League. Aerial duels, not good enough. Again, 40th percentile for those. And reds and oranges all across the board. Now, you might think maybe his per 90s are a little bit better. And they do get a little bit better in terms of his passing stats. Again, it, you know, boosts a lot of green in there per 90. But again, you know, you go down to his defending stats. And again, per 90, tackles won, low. Duels won, low. Aerial duels won, low. Interceptions, low. He just hasn't hit the ground running. He's 28 years of age, and I don't think that he is going to be getting anywhere near this Villa team in the summer. We go across to our current squad, and again, you look at him, he's a left-footed centre-back who obviously will play on the left. That is what Emery likes. He's clearly behind Pau Torres in the pecking order, but then you've already seen him. We have another left-footed centre-back to come back into the team, and I think Tyrone Mings will come back into the squad a step ahead of Lenglet, and that is obviously if we were to sign him. So do we need him? There's also the Mario Hermoso links as well. But if we stop that recording right there, if we talk about sort of where or how much he might cost Villa, he's currently on a contract of about £100,000 a week at Barcelona, which is a little bit expensive, especially with FFP, you know, knocking around. I don't know how much of that we're currently paying, but again, is he going to take a humongous pay cut when he leaves Barcelona? There'll probably be suitors, even if it's from the Saudi league, that will be after him. I talked about his release clause being 39.5, I think it is, million euros. His current market value is sitting at 15 million. There's actually been talk very, very recently of Barcelona possibly negotiating a mutual termination of his contract, which means he would be available for a free, which does make it a little bit more interesting. Whenever a player is free, you think, you know, he's already been around the squad for a season, he's already worked under Emery for a season. Emery clearly likes him, he has thrown him into certain games. But again, all in all, with Tyrone Mings coming back with the likes of Hermoso possibly coming into Villa's starting ranks, as well as possibly other centre-backs. We don't know who we're going to be getting in the summer. I think unless it is a free and he takes a massive reduction in wages, personally for me, Clement Lenglet is on the chopping block to be chopped back to Barcelona. I'm sure he'll be picked up by a team in Europe's top 5 leagues. He's shown glimpses this season, but Pau Torres and Tyrone Mings, for me personally, would just be above him, and for that reason I would personally say no. I don't think we should get him back on loan. I don't think we should sign him. Again, he's getting on, 28 years of age. If it's him, you know, who's 28, or Hermoso who's 28 on a free transfer, Hermoso's your man every day of the week, and possibly even twice on a Sunday, maybe even thrice on a Saturday at 3 PM. You're going to want Hermoso in that starting lineup as opposed to Lenglet. I've just realised my chair is really low. I promise you, I am not an Oompa Loompa. However, like I say, you know, for me, Lenglet not done enough this season. His wage demands, I think, would be too high. The only way, again, I see it, free transfer, a massive contract, slash for him, and reduction if he wants to carry on playing Champions League football next year. But otherwise, I don't think he's one for me. I think he's one for the chopping block, and he is got to go. And that is the end of our loan players. Only 2 loan players this season. I've said no to Zaniolo. I've said no to Lenglet. So my squad video that will be coming out after all of these chopping block videos is already looking a little bit thin. But if you are enjoying the videos, guys, leave a like, subscribe down below. So close to 1,600 now. The next video will be going through our goalkeepers, and I am going to include the likes of Sinasalo, who has been out on loan this season, as well as the current goalkeepers that we have at the club, like Olsen and Joe Gauchi. So if you are looking forward to that, that one will be out at some point this week or next week. And once we've done all of the squad videos, so goalkeeper, defence, midfield and attack, I'll be doing a final squad list before we head into the summer and we ramp up the transfer talk. But as always, up the Villa, be nice to everyone, and I'll see you soon.